Yes.
Hi, Bhaskar. This is Suresh from Cognizant Foundation. Actually, I'm also
Sure, sure.
joined to observe the class.
Acha,
Do you
acha.
aware
Hi,
of
sir.
it?
Hi. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. So actually, my team informed me about that. So
Okay,
some
okay.
people.
I have joined the class actually. I will observe for
Okay.
about 20 minutes.
Ah, yeah. Sure. Sure.
After that, it is possible to interact with you for 10 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, okay.
So can I give my number? Do you have my number?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So here I'm. Suresh, you can give me a call.
It's 9059065724.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, guys. Today we have to discuss something about Lombok, right? Lombok. Okay, and logger as well. And actually right now till now we are creating some hibernate file na, hibernate.cfg.xml file, so which is used for configuration in the hibernate, no, which is a configuration part actually. So we have to convert. Okay, so actually in real time projects, okay, we are not allowed to create a xml file because right now we are in a beginning stage, right? So that's why I explained you about this hibernate.cfg.xml file. So we can configure hibernate configuration in separate java file. Okay, we can create a separate java file, okay, to configure the, you know, hibernate configuration. Okay, there we have to mention the properties. Okay, so we have to do a lot of things there. Okay, so after discussing these things, okay, and Amitabh sir told me to create a global exception, right? So we have to create some global exception. Okay, so I'll explain this part also. Okay, so these are the additional stuff. Okay, so these are the additional stuff which is used, which you can use it in the real time project. Okay, till now we completed the hibernate for student part. Okay, so today we are going to discuss something about used in real time scenarios. Okay, so let's start the project. Okay, so before starting the project, okay, so today I'm going to create one simple project. Okay, one simple project where we can add students. Okay, where we can add student. Okay, and where we can retrieve the student. Okay, that's it, that's enough. Okay, so basic CRUD operations. Okay, because you are, I mean, you are already aware of how to register, how to log in. Okay, so you know how to create those methods, right? So I'm not concentrating on the methods, I'm not concentrating on the hibernate part. Okay, so today I'm completely concentrating on the project creation part. Okay, guys, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, oh, I mean, we are using some new project, no, so let's create some new database in our database. Okay, so open workbench here. So I am creating database as simple project. Okay, simple project. Okay, so we can use this simple project. Okay, so use simple project. This is our database we are using. Now you can see the number of tables we have. So we don't have any tables in the database, right? So the table, I mean, the table list is empty actually. Okay, we have to create the tables by using, obviously, by our SQL, I mean, by our Hibernate part. Okay, so let's go and create the, okay, Hibernate project. Okay, so and after of the class, okay, so I think I will take around 2.5 hours. Okay, after completion of the class you have to complete some, you know, Thursday's lab task. Okay, so this is the one program. Okay, so you have to complete, I mean, you have to create a employee as a parent class. And we have two types of employees in a company, which is a fresher employees and experienced employees. Okay, so you can implement the inheritance. Okay, you can read the properties of employee by creating the object of fresher employee and experienced employee. Okay, so I need it, I mean, I want to implement a inheritance here. Okay, so this is one project. And yeah, let's create some other project, I mean, let's create some other examples for one to many or many to one, anything. Okay, and embedded classes as well. Okay, so this is the secondary part of our today's session. Okay, so here let's create a new Maven project. Okay, search for Maven. Okay, Maven project. Okay, so we have to create architect quick start 1.1 version only, that you know already. And here we have to give the project name. So my project name is something like student management, or I can say this thing as a student ms. Okay, student management system. Okay, so let's change the package name com dot student ms. Okay, and click on the finish. Okay, so we have our project right now. And obviously what we have to do, what is the first step in the Hibernate project?
Copy dependencies.
Yeah, so we have to change some dependencies list. Okay, so the first thing we have to add is, we are using, I mean, by default Maven using, okay, J2E 1.5 version, but actually we are using one, I mean 17th version. So let's go to the Maven repository and search for Java compiler source target. Okay, source target Maven. Okay, so open the Maven website. So we have to copy these two lines. Okay, these are the properties of Java compilers. Okay, we are using 17th version, no? So let's make it as a 17th. Don't use 1.8 or something else. Okay, we are using some 17th version of Java. And to configure Hibernate, we must need a two dependencies, right? We must need two dependencies. Do you know what are those? What are the two dependencies that we need to configure Hibernate project? Anyone? We need two dependencies na, for Hibernate project. What are those two I mean dependencies? What are those? Guys, SQL. Okay. Another one. Oh, obviously, we need a Hibernate core, na? Hibernate core Maven dependency. So we have so many. I mean, we have so many versions of Hibernate core. Okay, but still we are using.
Core, sir, core you are using core. I think a different one.
Sorry, core relation. So we are using 5.6.11, na?
Okay, sir.
5.6.11, which is released in August 30, 2022. Okay, so this is the Hibernate core. Okay, copy the dependency, paste it in our form.xml. So I'm pasting here. Okay, now we need to add another one also. What is another one? MySQL connector J. Need a MySQL connector also, and add MySQL connector 8.0.30. Okay, so any recent version. Copy this thing and paste it here. Okay, so we have Hibernate and we have MySQL. No, now let's check with the Maven dependencies whether those are included or not. Okay, here you can see Hibernate common annotations, Hibernate core added, and we have MySQL connector J as well. Okay, so here now we can ready to start our project. Okay, so here we have one app file, that is a basic file you know already. Okay, we have one main file. Okay, so here we are using Lombok, no? So we are ready to use Lombok. So generally Lombok is a, okay, so when you are creating some models, okay, when you are creating some models, okay, so for example we need a student model in our project, right? We need a basic student model where student class can have some values like, okay, student ID, okay, and student name as well, okay, and student group, we can say student group or student marks, anything. Okay, so let's create three things. Okay, so if you create three different private variables, three different instance variables, we need six getters and setters. I mean, totally we need three getters and three setters. Okay, so which will take around a minimum of 18 lines of code. Okay, 18 lines of code we need. Okay, and we need one toString method also. Okay, so which will take around, okay, again 3 or 4 lines of code. Okay, so totally, so it is taking I mean around 25 lines of code. Okay, so we are using 25 lines of code for only getters and setters in the model class. Okay, now if you are using, okay, if you are using Lombok, okay, no need to write getters and setters but for every time. Okay, we are using, okay, so if you are using Lombok, no, okay, if you are using Lombok, okay, we don't need to create a getters and setters. Okay, Lombok will have one annotation like getter. Okay, Lombok have one annotations like setter. So we can add a getter and setter annotations to the class. Okay, when we are adding getters and setter annotations, okay, it automatically creates the everything. Okay, so I mean let's create a student class. I mean let's create some variables in the student. Okay, so right click on here. Actually we need to create a separate packages. Okay, so we need to create a separate packages for, okay, something like model. We need a package for model, we need a package for service. Okay, and we need a package for view. Okay, we are creating MVC architecture generally with, you know, okay, model view controller, model service controller, anything. Okay, model view controller. Okay, so we need a separate packages, but we are using simple project, no, so I'm not creating, okay, separate packages because we are having a very small, I'm very small code. But if you want to create, you can create a separate packages for everything. Okay, right now I'm not creating separate packages. Okay, so click on the new and click on the class. Okay, so I'm creating one student class, student. Okay, we don't need any main method, so click on the finish. Okay, guys, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so okay, if you want to create a table with the name of class name, what you need? Okay, I want to
Entity.
create it. Yeah, I want to create a table as a student. Okay, so what I need, different types of annotations I can use here.
Entity and ID.
Entity ID.
Okay, what is the use of ID? We have to create an entity for
Primary
sure.
key.
Set
Yeah.
primary key.
Okay, okay. So we have to import entity from persistence API. Okay, JPA, you know that. Okay, and we are using ID. Okay, because we want to create some primary key in our database. Okay, so here I am creating three different variables. Okay, so student ID. Okay, private. Okay, string, student name, private, string, student group, something like this. Okay, student group. Okay, now we have to import this ID for sure, right? So ID from persistence API again. Okay, now actually, okay, when you are using the basic Hibernate project, we need to create a getters and setters that we can create by using source that you know already. Okay, so we can do this. Okay, let's create a basic thing. Okay, and we need a toString method also. Okay, we need a toString method. Okay, so for example, okay, for example, okay, so if you create, okay, if you create one object for student. Okay, I'm creating object for student here, student s1 equal to new student. Okay, I created one object. So here I want to set some values, right? I want to set some values for ID and all. So here we can set the values by using setter. Okay, s1 dot set student ID, okay, which is 1. Okay, s1 dot set student name, which is something like Ituri. Okay, and s1 dot set group, something like emcl. Okay, so we can create a setters. Okay, to, I mean inside the when we are creating a objects in the Hibernate, this object is going to create as a row in the database, row in the table that you know. Okay, so actually what is the matter, it is a basic thing. Okay, so we are discussing this thing, okay, from the day one of Hibernate only, right? So here I want to use Lombok. Okay, I want to use Lombok. So when you are using Lombok, no, so we have to, okay, obviously we need to add one dependency of Lombok here. Okay, so let's go to the Maven dependency, and here let's type Lombok. Okay, so here we have project Lombok. Okay, so click on the project Lombok. Okay, so here you can select any recent version. Okay, 18.22, 18 point, okay, so I'm using 1.8.22 because, okay, so most of the people are using this. Okay, you can use 1.8.24 as well, but so I love the legacy, so that's why I'm using 1.18.22 version of Lombok, project Lombok. Okay, so copy this dependency and paste it in our dependencies list of form.xml. Okay, see, okay, the project is built. Now let's check whether the Lombok is, okay, imported or not. Okay, let's check here. Let's check for Lombok. Here we have a lombok.jar file in our setup. Okay, and we forgot to do one thing. Okay, I forgot to upgrade the project. We have to upgrade the project now. Update, click on the Porsche update and click on OK. The project will update. It will take some time. When it is completed, uh, we can see 17th version of JDK. Yes, now you can see we are using Java SE 17th version. Okay, right now we are using Lombok, obviously. Okay, right now we are using Lombok. No, so here and this is the student model, right? So this is the student model. So I don't want to mention, okay, all these getters and setters. Okay, see, okay, so it is you. I mean, actually we have 38 lines of code. Okay, we have 38 lines of code. Okay, I am just removing, okay, getters and setters. Okay, I removed getters and setters, and we have to remove this one also. Okay, so we have three private variables in the model class. Okay, we have three private variables in the model class. Now actually our app file is showing some error. Okay, our app file is showing some error because we are not having any method named as set student id, set student name, set student group. We are not having these methods, so that's why it is showing an error. Okay, but we are using Lombok in our project. Okay, here you can do one thing. Okay, so you can import getters from Lombok. Okay, so here you can write getter. Okay, so you can import getter from Lombok. Okay, import getter from Lombok. Okay, and we need setter also. Okay, import setter from Lombok, obviously Lombok. Okay, now we need a toString method also. Okay, write a toString method also. Okay, import toString method from Lombok. Okay, so we imported three different files. Okay, getter, setter, and toString. Okay, which is taking only 3 lines of code. Okay, now you can see we are having 19 lines of code. Now here we are not having any error now. Okay, see, we don't have any error because, okay, getters and setters from the Lombok. Okay, when you mentioned getter and setter from the Lombok, okay, you will have all the getters for your, I mean, instance variables. Okay, you will have all the getters for instance variables. Okay, right now we are having three instance variables. That's why getter creates three getter methods for our instance variables. Okay, when you are using setter, okay, setter creates three setters. Okay, set student id, set student name. Okay, set uses something like that. Okay, right now, okay, we don't have any getters and setters in our model file, but still, um, okay, but still, okay, we are not getting any error because we are using the Lombok. When you are using Lombok, the all the getters and setters will created by default by using Lombok. Okay, so see, the number of lines of code obviously decreases now. Okay, so how beautiful it is, right? So this is the power of Lombok. When you are using Lombok, you no need to create the getters and setters. Okay, Guys, is this clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Now, okay, now we want to create, I mean, I want to store, okay, some data. Okay, I want to store some data, right? So obviously we need a DAO file. Okay, so let's create a student DAO file. Let's write some methods there. Okay, student DAO. Okay, I don't want any main here. Okay, actually we have student DAO now. Okay, so here, okay, we need to implement some method, like some method for save the student. Okay, public void save student. Okay, and we need a one method for public. So I want to I want to retrieve the student details, so I can return the student. Okay, so public student, something like retrieve student. Okay, retrieve student. This is another method we have. Okay, so we need to retrieve the student and we need to save the student to the database. Okay, so here as of now I am just returning null because it is showing some error. Okay, so yeah, we have, okay, two methods in the DAO, which is a save student and retrieve student. Okay, so if you want to save the student details in the database, okay, what you need first, we need a configuration file, right? So we need a one configuration file. Okay, so you know how to create a configuration file. Okay, so basically you can click on the, project, you can go to the new and you can click on the XML. Okay, so so here we can select, we have typed XML here, XML, sorry. So here we can create a Hibernate configuration file where we can pass different values. Okay, different values for, okay, database so and so. Okay, so here we can pass database dialect, driver class name, connection URL, okay, username, password. Okay, these are the basic things that you know already. But here, okay, I don't want to create a one XML file for configuration. Okay, I don't want to create one XML file for configuration. I want to create one Java file. Okay, in that particular Java file only I want to create a configuration. Okay, so how to do that? So here, okay, so we don't want any, we don't want any Hibernate file, just cancel it. Okay, now let's create a another class. Okay, another class. So let's name this class as a Hibernate utility. Okay, Hibernate utility, because we are getting some utilities. Okay, so let's make this as a Hibernate utility, and we don't need any main method obviously, and click on the finish. Okay, this is our Hibernate utility class. Okay, this is our Hibernate utility. So now, okay, so we have to observe different things, guys. Okay, so we can create a different, generally, did you remember anything when you are creating, okay, a basic Hibernate configuration? Okay, what are the different things that we need, guys? Did you remember anything? So we need a session. Okay, other than session, what we need?
Annotate.
Session factory
Session factory
transaction.
transaction. Session factory begin session.
We need a session
Configuration.
factory. After session yeah, configuration first, we need a configuration first. After getting configuration, we need a session
Session.
factory. Yes, okay, so while we are creating configuration, we can mention something like add annotated class. Did you remember? So
Yes, sir.
what we can write in add annotated class? What is meant by add?
Yes, sir.
The
What is meant by?
class
Yeah,
which
we have
has
to. Yeah,
the
very good.
table entity.
So we have to mention the, okay, entity class name there. Okay, in add annotated class, we have to mention entity class name. Okay, so here we have to create all those things by ourselves only. Okay, so right now actually we need a configuration. After getting the configuration, we need a session factory. Session factory is the main class where we are having the different sessions, different transactions. Okay, we are having all those things, right? So here, okay, so I'm creating one method which is a session get session factory. Okay, public static. Okay, so something like, get session factory. Okay, so by using this method, okay, by using this method, I want to return session factory. Okay, by using this method, I want to send session factory to the user. Okay, session factory to the user. So here we have to mention session factory for sure. Okay, we want to return session factory to the user, and we have to import session factory from, obviously, okay, Hibernate. Import session factory from Hibernate. Okay, now, okay, generally we need to create, I mean, I'm creating one static variable. Okay, I want to create one static variable for the session factory. Okay, because we need to create a session factory as null. Okay, so all the instance variables that you remember, okay, all the instance variables we are assigning some null value after calling the method. No, okay sir, okay, thank you, sure, okay Suresh ji, thank you for your time. Hmm. So here I want to create something like okay, so I want to add, sorry, I want to create one static session factory variable. Okay, static session, I mean session factory. So here let's create some variable, private static session factory, as session fact. Okay, so session fact is the session factory of our, okay, class. Okay, so here we can implement something. Okay, okay, we are creating the session factory. Okay, we are creating session factory if it is a null. Okay, so make sure, okay, sesh fact equal to null. If session factory is null, then only we want to create a new session factory. Okay, we have to assign double equal to, okay, when the session factory equal to null, then only, okay, so we want to create a new session. So here we didn't assign any value. Okay, we didn't assign any value to the session factory, so by default it has a null value for sure, right? So here we have to create some session factory. Okay, before creating session factory, okay, before creating session factory, okay, so we have to create a configuration first. Okay, we have to create some configuration. So I mean, maybe while creating the configuration, maybe we will get some exceptions. Okay, so that's why I'm creating some catch, try and catch blocks, try catch exception. Okay, so let's print e dot print try stack trace. Okay, if we have any issue, then our try catch block will handle that. Okay, now here we have to create our session factory, guys. Okay, so first we need a configuration. Let's create configuration config equal to, okay, obviously new configuration. Okay, let's import these configurations from Hibernate CFG. Okay, import configuration from Hibernate CFG. Okay, we imported them. Okay, now we have a configuration. So did you remember anything? So we are using configuration dot get, I mean config dot add annotated class so and so, right? So okay, let's go to our previous project code. Okay, I can show you something. So actually while creating the, okay, see, so this is where we are getting configuration, right? So while creating the configuration, we are using some configure method. I told you, no, this configure method will look for Hibernate CFG file, okay, where you are mentioning the all the configuration things. Okay, but right now we don't have any Hibernate configurations. Okay, we don't have any XML file, so that's why I don't want to mention this configure here. Okay, before mention configuration, okay, we need to set some properties. Okay, we need to set some properties to the configuration. Okay, so I am creating one property file, properties, something like pro equal to new properties. So properties is a part of, utility package. Okay, import properties from utility package, yes. Okay, so here we have to set some properties to the okay, configuration. Okay, that is nothing but we have to set the driver name, we have to set the URL, we have to set some username, okay, password, dialect, okay, we have to set something. Okay, let's create those things. Okay, so here actually this is a one collection. Properties is a generally it is a collection where we can mention the put option. Okay, pro dot put. Put. Okay, here we can mention something. Okay, so actually, okay, we are creating some environment, no? So we are creating some environment. Okay, so here we have to set the environment variables for our project. Okay, so type environment. Okay, let's import environment from where is this environment? No, we don't have any environment. Don't. Actually, we need to import this environment from something else. Okay, let's import this environment. Yes, import environment from Hibernate configuration. Import it. Now, okay, here we can mention something like, okay, driver. Okay, so here you can see the driver. Okay, select the driver. Okay, we need to set the driver name. So, do you know what is the driver name of our SQL, guys?
Drive
Hmm. Drive?
driver, sir.
Yeah, driver name.
Driver name is driver, sir.
No,
No,
we have something
Driver
called,
manager.
no. So
it's
we
a
have
class.
something called com dot
MySQL dot
mysql.
tj
Yeah,
dot
It is a
jdbc.
JDBC.driver.
yeah, we have to mention that that is the driver name. Com dot
The
mysql
my
dot
cj
hmm,
cj dot
dot
jdbc
jdbc dot
dot driver.
driver. This is the driver name. Okay. Now, okay, we need to set some URL. Okay, pro dot put. Okay, so here we have to set URL of environment dot URL. Okay, set for URL. Yes. So here we have to mention the URL for our okay database. What is the URL? Did you remember? URL for our database.
JDBC colon
Mm,
MySQL
yeah, JDBC colon MySQL colon
localhost
slash yeah localhost.
port
Guys, you have
number
to remember all these things. Those are very important. 3306 slash, and we are using one. Okay, we are using Simple Pro. Okay, so we created some new database name, right? So here I can mention Simple Pro, name of our database that we are using, where we are going to create our tables and all. Okay, now okay, so close this. Okay, so here we can mention something else also. Pro dot put. Okay, okay, we have to mention username and password also. Okay, so let's type environment and dot user. What is the username?
root
Very good. And we need to set the password as well. Environment dot password, and this is our password generally. Okay, again pro dot port. So here we have to set some dialects. Okay, some dialects. Put sorry, environment and dot dialect. So actually, when you are creating XML configuration, you are mentioning dialect, right? So organization dot hibernate dot some dialect. Okay, so here we have to write the dialect. Org dot Hibernate dot. Okay, so dialect, hope my spelling is correct, dialect dot. Here we have to mention MySQL, our server type, MySQL 5. Okay, dialect. Mm, dialect, dialect. Okay, MySQL 5 dialect. So after getting dialect username and driver and all, okay, so if you want to, okay, showcase your SQL, if you want to create a table by using Hibernate, okay, so we have to mention something else. Okay, pro dot port. So here we have to mention, okay, actually, yeah, I forgot to mention, I mean, before I mean dialect, we have to mention something is current session or something. I forgot. Type current session. Yeah, current session context class. So, okay, we have to set this context class. Okay, so which is a thread. Okay, we want to create our main as a thread, so we have to mention this as a thread. Okay, I forgot to mention this. Okay, we have to put this before the dialect only. Okay, and now, okay, if you want to create something, or why don't I don't want to mention order. Okay, okay, so if you want to create a table by using Hibernate, what is the property that you are using in our Hibernate file? If you want to create table, no, so we are using some property in our configuration file. Did you remember that?
Show table.
Show
No, sorry.
table, no.
Great.
So did you know the property HBM to EDL, something like this?
Yes,
So
sir.
while adding the property, we are mentioning HBM to DDL. Okay, we are adding this now. So we have to set that property also. Good. So here environment dot HBM. Okay, HBM to DDL auto. Okay, so we are mentioning the schema and make this thing as a update. Okay, so I don't want to create. Okay, so we are using update option. Okay, and if you want to show your SQL statements, okay, if you want to show the SQL statements, there you can mention something like this. So code environment. Okay, everything we have to set for environment. Okay, show SQL. So actually I'm making this thing as a false. Okay, I don't want to show my SQL. Okay, I want to get something. Okay, so here we mentioned the all the environment properties. Okay, we mentioned all the environment properties. So here we have to set these properties for our configuration. We have to set these properties for our configuration. So here you can mention something like this: config dot, okay, config dot set properties. Okay, set properties. So here we mention the properties. Okay, what are the properties we have? Pro is the properties. Okay, we are adding all the properties to the configuration. Okay, we are adding all the properties to configuration. Now we can add something. Okay, our add annotated class. Okay, I want to add our annotated class, which is an I mean which is having some annotations. Okay, we are having student, right? Student. Okay, here you can mention your annotated classes. Okay, so add annotated class, which is a student dot class. Okay, which is a student dot class. Okay, now, okay, by using this configuration, right now we have all the configurations, right now we have all the configuration. By using this particular configuration, okay, I want to create, okay, one what can I say, session factory. Okay, I want to create one session factory by using this particular configuration. So here we can mention something like this: session fact. Okay, session fact is a, okay, session factory variable. Here we can mention something like this: config dot, okay, build session factory. Okay, we are building session factory. Okay, after building session factory on everything, okay, we can return the session factory within after if step. So we have to return session factory. So return session factory. Okay, that's what we are returning. Okay, so we are having session factory and everything. Now we can happily create. Okay, now we can happily create, okay, session from this particular session factory. Okay, so okay, let's come back to our, our save student method. Okay, so in our save student method we can mention something like this. Okay, so here I'm creating session SES equal to, okay, we have to import this session from Hibernate. Okay, so I'm creating session. Okay, so here we have Hibernate class, right? So here we have Hibernate utility class name. This is our class name. Okay, we have to mention this class name. Okay, Hibernate utility dot. Okay, so we need a get session factory and dot. Here we can open the new session. Okay, here we can open the new session. So we open the new session by using this method. Okay, so if you want to decrease, okay, the lengthy one, okay, here you can create another method also. Okay, here you can create another method also, something like here. Okay, I want to create another method which is used to create the session. Okay, so here I can write something like this: public, okay, static, okay, session. I want to return one session. Okay, I'm creating the session in the this class only. Okay, public session, get session method. Okay, we have to import this session from our, I mean, Hibernate. So here we have to return some session. Okay, so here you can write something like this: return Hibernate utility dot get session factory. No, otherwise written something like this. Get session factory dot, okay, actually we are getting session factory, okay, from this get session factory, so get session factory dot open session. Okay, we are having some session. Okay, now by using this get session method, you can get the session. No need to write all these things. Okay, just remove everything. Okay, here Hibernate utility dot get session. Okay, right now we are having session. Okay, either two ways you can create the session. Okay, so we are having the session right now with us. Okay, so I want to begin some transaction. Yes, session dot begin transaction. Okay, I started transaction. Okay, here we can save the value, session dot save. Okay, so here we can save the student. Actually we need a student, right? So I am expecting student object from the, I mean, this particular method declaration. Here we can save the student. Okay, session dot save student. Okay, after saving the details, what we have to do, we have to do something like this: session dot, okay, get transaction dot commit. Okay, this is our method. Okay, session dot begin transaction, and after I mean, after completing the transaction, okay, I mean, after completing some actions, okay, some communication with the database, okay, we are committing our transaction. Okay, so here we implemented save student method. No, we implemented save student method very easily. Now, okay, here, okay, let's pass some student values. Okay, let's see, okay, whether we can pass the student value or not. Okay, so let's create student DAO object. Student DAO equal to DAO dot student DAO. Forgot to mention the new option, new student DAO. Okay. So this is what we have. Now we can happily mention DAO dot save student, where we can save our S1, where we can save our S1. See, okay, we don't have anything in the app file, and we don't have so many things in our student file, and we don't have so many things our, okay, student DAO file. You can see, okay, how many number of lines we decrease it successfully. Okay, now we can run our file. Okay, just run our file. Let's see whether it is working or not. Java application, run as Java application, go to the console. Let's see what will happen. Okay, 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 something is happened. Okay, something is happened. Now let's go back to our database, click on the show tables. Okay, let's run show tables. Okay, here we have student table right now with us. Okay, now select start from student, select start from student, run this. Okay, we have the student one MCA Chittoor. Okay, so this is our okay file. So this is how you need to configure okay a complete Java project in Hibernate. Okay, guys, is this clear for
Yes, sir.
everyone? Okay, so if you are feeling something like hectic, okay, it is very easy. Okay, so all the thing you have to do is this Hibernate file. Okay, so if you are having one Hibernate file with you, you can do the copy paste. Okay, you can do the copy paste very easily. Okay, so if you are feeling something like hectic, okay, please ask me, I will send you this particular file. Okay, you can just replace your credential with it, that's it. Okay, guys, did you understand what we are doing in the Hibernate file? We are mentioning every environment variable. After mentioning environment variable, we are creating the new session, that's it. Okay, is this clear, ma? First of all, let me know one thing, are you clear with the Lombok?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what about this utility file? I mean, we are not creating, something like um, hibernate.cfg.xml file, but we are happily creating this one. Okay, so you can use this one.
Sir, in every package we have to create same file.
Yeah, in I mean every project,
Sorry, in every project.
every project needs, I mean every project needs Hibernate CFG file, no? So
Yes, sir.
without
Yes, sir.
creating Hibernate CFG XML, you can do this. You can use this one.
Okay, sir.
Okay, there we are using some XML kind of technique, but XML is not a okay, not that much acceptable in the real-time project scenarios. So that's why we have to implement everything with Java. Okay, any doubts, ma? Any doubts or any confusion here? Everything is clear, right?
Sir, this try and catch block is the global exception.
No, no, no. We are not using global exception right now. We have to use it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I just implemented two things only. Here, I used two things, which is Lombok and Java file. Hibernate with Java file, not with XML. Okay, so we are about to use logger. Okay, we have to use the logger and we have to use global exception yet. If you are clear with these things, so I can move forward. Otherwise, yeah, we have to discuss same thing. Guys, tell me, shall we move forward? Okay. Okay, so I mean, we implemented only one method, right? In the student DAO, we implemented only one method, no? So here we can implement another method also. Okay, we can implement something like retrieve method also. Here in the retrieve method, okay, I want to retrieve the student. Okay, I want to retrieve the student. Okay, see, we can retrieve the student. Okay, same thing we need all the things. Just paste it here, and here we need to retrieve, right? So that's why I'm using get method. Okay, session dot get. Okay, here we can mention student dot class. Okay, and here you can mention the student ID. You can mention student ID. Okay, so in this particular method, this retrieve student method is expecting one primary key as a student ID, and we are retrieving the details by using the student ID. Okay, you know about this get method. Okay, you know about this get method. Okay, so we are retrieving the student details by using the primary key of the student. Okay, so let's implement this method in our app file. Okay, so I'm commenting out this one. So I want to retrieve, and I want to comment this one also. So we commented everything in our main class. Okay, now let's create another student, student s2 equal to null. Okay, basically I'm creating it as a null. Okay, so here I want to retrieve the student details. Okay, so we can create an object for this one. Okay, dow dot retrieve student. So here I can pass one value. Okay, I can pass something like 2. Okay, that means I want to retrieve the student who is having 2 as a primary key, who is having student id as 2. Okay, so I want to retrieve his details. Okay, so this particular method will return one student object, so that's why here I am writing s2. Okay, here I am writing s2. So type student dog is not applicable integer. Okay, something I forgot to save this. Okay, okay, we have to return the student for sure. Okay, so here I'm returning s1. We need to catch this s1 in our main method. Here is the main. Yeah, here is the main. So we are retrieving the details. Okay, so here I'm writing one if statement. Okay, I'm writing one if statement. If s2 equal to null. Okay, if s2 equal to null, that means if we didn't found, okay, if we didn't found any student details, that means s2 equal to null, right? So if we didn't found anything, okay, so you know uh, I can print some error message. Okay, I can print some error message. Okay? Student not found. Okay, see, this is just one output statement. Okay, this is one a basic output statement. Actually we cannot do this. Okay, if we got some values, okay, we want to print those values. Okay, so if we get some values, okay, we want to print those values. Okay, so this is a basic program, right? You know what we are doing and everything. Okay, now let's compile this code. Let's see what will happen. Okay, so we got student not found because we are not having any student who is having student id 2. Okay, and here let's print something. Let's do, I want to retrieve 1. Okay, so we got some student details. Okay, student id 1, student name chituri, student group mca. Okay, everything. Okay, so here, okay, here, okay, so when student is not found, okay, when student is not found, okay, we are creating, okay, we are just printing one message. Okay, we are not creating any exception. Okay, if, okay, something happened, no, if something is happened wrong, okay, we have to raise one exception for sure. Okay, we have to raise some exception for sure. So here, okay, so actually we are creating one real-time project, no, so we are creating one real-time project in real-time project. Okay, so different companies has different requirements. Okay, our Capgemini has one requirement, that is, okay, that is we have to use only one exception all over the project. We have to use only one exception all over the project. Okay, so here I am creating new Java file. Okay, I'm creating new Java file here. Okay, so this one, okay, so I'm making this one as a global exception. Okay, global exception. I'm creating one Java class as global exception. Okay, so we are, okay, we are creating user defined exception. Okay, something like, we are having arithmetic exception. we are having array index out of bound exception, we are having IOE exception, we have main exception, we have so many exceptions in Java. But we are creating user defined exception. Okay, user defined exception. If something is wrong, if something is, some data entered by the user is wrong, we want to raise an exception. So you have to raise one global exception, which is a user defined. Okay, so you are not allowed to use something like null pointer exception, arithmetic exception, something like that. Okay, so we cannot use default exceptions of Java. Okay, so we have to use only one exception. So here we are creating one exception, okay, by extending exception class. Extends exception class. Okay, right now our global exception is a exception, it's not a class, it is a exception right now. Okay, and now actually, so when we are, okay, creating a exceptions, we have to create a one constructor, guys. Okay, we have to create one constructor. Let's create a constructor public global exception. Okay, so this is a constructor. Okay, and this constructor can can accept one value, one message. Okay, this constructor can accept one value, which is a message. Okay, so we are expecting one message. Okay, something like if, okay, if the student is not found, no, so we have to print something like student not found message. Okay, we have to print some message with the exception. So we are expecting some message from the user. Okay, and here you can see we have a exception class. Now let's see what are the different things we have in a exception. Okay, see, we have one exception class. Okay, in this exception class we have one, okay, constructor which is a exception. We have one constructor which is a exception. In this particular constructor we are having super keyword. That means we are returning the same exception to the same place where the exception is found. We are returning one exception where the exception is found. So that's why we are returning super. Okay, super. So here we have to use same super. Okay, but you can see this exception is a, okay, null. Okay, we are not having any, okay, any messages, anything in the exception. Okay, but we are expecting some message from the user. So here, okay, you have to pass that exception, super dot message. Okay, so this is the way you have to create a global exception. Okay, this is a global exception. Okay, global exception. Okay, so here in our main method, okay, in our main method I want to use this particular exception. Whenever the student is not found, okay, whenever the student is not found, I want to throw one exception. Okay, so here I am throwing one exception. Okay, so throws, okay, global exception. We are throwing global exception which is created by ourselves. Okay, throws global exception. Okay, so when the student is not found, okay, when the student is not found, we want to use some exception, right? When the student is not found, we want to, okay, we want to throw an exception. Okay, how to throw an exception, did you know? We have a different types of keywords in the exception handling, no? So something like try, catch, okay, throw, so and so. Okay, which type of keyword you have to use if you want to throw one exception? Okay, if you want to throw an exception, what you have to do? Which type of keyword you are going to use? Yes, Kat.
Throw new.
Yeah, obviously we have to use throw new. Okay, so here I'm using a new exception. Okay, throw new. Okay, global exception. Okay, throw new global exception. Here we can pass so one message. Okay, so user not found or student not found. Student not found. Okay, so here we raised one exception. Okay, now you can run this code. Now you can see, oh, sorry, so our student is actually found, so that's why exception is not raised. So here, okay, I want to retrieve the student who is having Okay, student id 2. Okay, who is having student id 2. Okay, now you can run this program. Definitely we will get an exception for sure. See, we are raising one exception. Exception in thread main, which is student not found. Okay, which is student not found. Okay, so this is how you need to create a global exception, guys. Okay, global exception. Okay, you can, I mean, so here you have to use one user defined exception. That's it. Okay, you have to use one user defined exception. Okay, so I created this thing as a global. Okay, here you can replace global exception as a Bhaskar exception, Katan exception, anything. Okay, you can name it anything, but you have to use one user defined exception in the entire project. Okay, you cannot use something like, okay, null pointer exception, user not found exception, arithmetic exception, IOE exception. Okay, you cannot use those different exceptions. Okay, here we are using only one exception for every error. Okay, so this is the global exception. Okay, guys
Yes, sir.
understood.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I created a global exception here. You can see the global exception, and I am using the global exception in our class. You have to import an exception for sure here. Okay, so global exception extends our exception. Okay, you have to create child class for exception. Okay, yeah, this is the user defined exception. Yes. Okay, and okay, so there is another requirement also. Okay, which is we cannot use output statement, right? We cannot use output statement. Okay, so if you okay, if you are very clear till now, I can go with logger. Otherwise I mean we can discuss something else. I mean we can have a break, or we can stop the session for some time. Okay, so understand everything. Okay, because these are the very important things you need to do. Okay, so please understand the structure, how we are doing and what we are doing. Okay, please take your time. If you understand, that's okay, that's very good. We can continue with the logger. If you doesn't understand, if you are having any issue, okay, then please let me know. Hmm, guys, and please give me 1 minute. Okay, so my colleague wants something. Meanwhile, you can practice, you can see, you can check, you can do anything. Guys, is everything okay? Hello? Okay. Give me a few minutes. I'm creating. Hmm. Okay, shall we start logger? Loggers. So generally, logger is nothing but okay. So we are using, I mean, we are compiling the code, we are running the code, and we are retrieving the details, we are saving the details, and we are getting some issues. Okay, we are doing a lot of transactions in the project, right? So logger is nothing but it is a logbook where you can have all the details of your project. Okay, so when you are updated, when you did something in the project. Okay, so everything. Okay, the changes. That you come, I mean, when you are compile, no, so when you compile the changes when you did, okay, everything will be stored in the one log file. And also, okay, you can use logger as a, okay, you can use logger as a console also. Okay, you can print something in the logger by using your console also. Okay, so let's see what is meant by logger and how we can implement the logger and all. Okay, so if you want to use logger, okay, generally we are using, okay, so log4j. So basically we are using SLF log4j, SLF4j and log4j logger. Okay, it is a combination of, okay, log4 and SLF4j loggers. So we have to use this particular logger. Okay, by using this particular logger, okay, we can print, we can print some messages, some we can print something. Okay, we can print something in console. Okay, we can print something in the console, as well as we can print something in the logbook also. We can print something in the logbook also. Okay, so let's see how we can do this and how we can, okay, configure it and everything. Okay, so first we need, obviously we need this particular jar file. Okay, we are using Maven. Obviously we can use the Maven of this
Your
particular.
screen is stopped.
Okay, give me a minute. I'll change the position. Okay, am I audible? Am I clear, Priyanshu?
Yes, sir. Your voice is clear, but screen is all right now. Okay, okay, sir. It's okay now.
So here we have to type something called, SL4J, SLF4J hyphen log 4J, SLF4J and log 4J. J means Java. Okay. So Apache, okay, Apache is the vendor company of this particular logger. Okay. So we are using this particular logger. Okay. Actually, we are using SLF now. For J12 type J12 as well. Maybe. Okay, so this one. Okay, so SLF 4J and log 4J 12 binding relocated. Okay, so we have to use this particular logger only. Okay, so so I tried with I am working with many of different versions, but I found 1.6.6 is the best version. Okay, I found 1.6.6 is the best version, so you can use 1.6.6 only. Okay, so there is a lot of there is a lot of versions are there, but I found some issues in those things. Okay, so that's why I'm not using those versions. Okay, I'm using still 1.6.6 of log4j and sl4j. Okay, copy this dependency and paste it in your pom.xml. This is our pom.xml. This is our pom.xml. Here, paste it. Okay, so SL4J log4j, okay, which is a version of 1.6.6. Okay, now let's see whether the thing is downloaded or not. SL4J and log4j. Yes, we have SL4J and log4j 12. Okay, we are using this one. Okay, so when you are using this particular one, okay, so okay, we think we directly use that, but actually cannot. Okay, so we have to create some properties. Okay, we have to create some properties to this logger. Okay, so those properties, okay, you can write the properties copying from the Google actually. Okay, because it is too complicated to understand, it is too complicated to write. So here you can type something. Okay, log4j properties file. Okay, properties, type log4j properties file here. Okay, so here we have a log4j properties. So we have to write some properties like this. Okay, we have to write some properties like this. Okay, so I personally have one property file. I am maintaining every resource. Okay, so I maintain every resource. You can see the resources. Mm, so here I have resources. So okay, this is the resource. Okay, so this is the resource for front end. Okay, if you want to do some front end, these are the different links for the front end. We have to use these links. And okay, we have Hibernate utility na. So this is the Hibernate utility file, and this is the log file. Okay, this is the log file. And if you want to use only the persistent one, okay, this is the code for persistence. Okay, so I copied the code. I tried with the different types of code, and I fixed it to one particular code which is perfectly working for me. Okay, so this is the log4j properties that I have. These files. Okay, if you don't have these properties, you no need to worry, and you can copy it from here. Okay, so this is the Oracle documentation. You can copy the same things from here. Okay, or else if you need this particular property file, I can send this property file to you. Okay, these property files you can use it in your real time also. Okay, you can use it in your real time also. Okay, so I tried with so many other files. Okay, I tried with different versions, I tried with different properties, but finally I realized this is the best version and this is the best properties that I can mention. Okay, so here we have to mention these properties in our project. Okay, so how to mention these properties in our project? Okay, so here we have to create some resources folder. Okay, see our main Java file generally. Okay, we have in the src we have something called main. In the main, okay, in the main we generally have one resources folder. In the resources folder we have to create one property file. Okay, so you can click on right click on the project, go to the new and go to others. Okay, so here type properties. Okay, type properties. Okay, so here we have a properties file. Okay, so select the properties file, click on the next. So here you can mention your properties file. Okay, so here we have to store this property file in the resources. Okay, so click on the browse first. Okay, so in the sample jpa, sorry, in the student tms, okay, we have src, and in the src we have main, right? In the main, okay, so if you are having any folder, okay, let me check whether we are having any folder or not. Okay, we don't have any folder here. Okay, so here in the main, okay, you can create a new folder. Okay, you can create a new folder. Okay, I'm unable to create any folder here. Okay, so let's go back to our project files. So this is my workspace. Okay, this is my workspace and this is our, where is our file? Student tms. Okay, student ms. Okay, this is our file, no? So in the src or in the target, okay, so in the src, okay, we have main. Okay, in the main you can create a resource. You can create one file as resource. Okay, resources. Okay, in the resources, okay, so you can store your file. So again, right click on this, go to new and click on the others and type properties. Oh, properties. Okay, so here click on the next and here we need to store this thing in a resources, right? So student ms, and in the src we have main. In the main we have, okay, resources. Generally, where is this resources? Okay, resources, I'm typing resources here. Okay, you have to name this file property file as a log4j. Okay, log4j is a file. Okay, log4j. Okay, click on the finish. It does not exist. Okay, create it. Okay, we have one log4j property files here. Okay, so here you can click on the source. Okay, here you can paste your log4j properties. Okay, here we have log4j properties, no? Control A, control C and control P. Okay, so this is the log4j properties that we have. Okay, here, okay, so here I mentioned one file name. Okay, here I mentioned one file name as demo application.log. This is the logbook. Okay, this is the logbook. Okay, if you want to create something other name, okay, so logbook of student ms. Okay, logbook of student ms. Okay, I named this particular log file as a logbook of student ms, and here you can see, okay, so I'm using two things. Okay, console appender. Okay, so I want to use this log file as a console, and also I want to store all the files in the, okay, I mean I want to store all the loggers in this particular logbook. Okay, this particular logbook. Okay, so yes, we mentioned the properties. Now we can go back to our app. Here we can go back to our app. So here we have to create one static variable as logger. Okay, so you can create static variable as, you know, static. Okay, static. So logger log equal to, okay, so something. Okay, we have to import this logger from somewhere. Where's this? I think Safa Syria. Okay, okay, we have to import the logger from, okay, log4j. Okay, here we have so many things. Logger. We have to import this from log4j. Mm, no, we don't have anything with the log4j. Okay, let's write completely. Okay, so we need a logger with logger dot get logger. I think get logger yes get logger. Okay, here we can mention okay our class name where we are using our logger. We are using a logger in app dot class. Okay, we are using logger in a logger. Okay, so here okay in the place of this system dot output dot println. Okay, we can do something. So here we can do log dot okay we have info method. Okay, so we have a info method, so we can print info. Okay, so with this s2 we want to print s2, right? We want to print s2. Okay, print. Okay, okay, this is how you need to print. Okay, log, I mean this is how you can use a logger. Okay, so let's compile this code. I hope this will work. mm, okay, so actually student is not found. Okay, we got an error. So I don't want to mention 2 here. Let's mention 1. Okay, because we want to print student values by using logger, right? Let's mention this thing. And here we mention okay logger, and here we have okay the logger in the output. Okay, we got the output now. Okay, this is how you need to use logger, guys. Okay, the first thing you have to do is okay you have to add logger in the pom.xml. Okay, we are adding logger in the pom.xml. After adding logger in the pom.xml, we have to mention some properties for our log file. We have to mention our properties. Okay, you have to mention these properties in the resources file. Okay, so I hope I have resource. Yes, we have. Okay, we have created one resources file. In the resources okay you can see in the src I have main. In the main I have resources. Okay, so in the resources I mentioned our log properties. Okay, so I mentioned these properties. Okay, so let's go back to our project. Let's check whether the file is created or not. Okay, so go back to this here. Let's check. Mm, okay, the file has to create, but it is not created. Mm, okay, let's update the project once. Update the project once. Update or refresh anything. And update project. First update and click OK. Okay, after updating the project, okay, we have something now. Run this file. We got some output for sure. Yes, we got the output. And let's check whether it is created or not. Actually, a file named logbook has to create in the project. But it is created a log file. How all the files got? File is not created yet. Let's check for log4 properties. Why it is not created yet? Maybe it will take some time. Testing. We have main file. Okay. Actually, it has to create one file. Actually, I'll show you. Okay, so here you can see, okay, we have one file named as demo application, no? So yeah, so these are the different things I perform. Okay, see everything. Okay, so student is retrieved. Okay, we have different actions. Okay, that we perform. Okay, students inserted. Okay, Hibernate common annotations. See, one student is inserted. The logging provider, JBoss, some sort of logging provider. Okay, but we don't have anything here. Okay, so we will check it later. Okay, so as of now, logger is working for us. Okay, logger is working to print something in the, okay, console. Okay, we are printing something in the console. Okay, as of now it is working. Okay, I will tell you how it can create a new file. Okay, so I will check, I have to check with it. Okay, but as of now it is working, no, as of now it is working to print something in the console. Okay, so you can use this log.info, okay, to print console, and I mean to print some data in the console and everything. Okay, and I will share you this logger file, okay, log4 properties file also. Okay, so you can do the same thing. Okay, we have to perform three different tasks to work with logger. Okay, the first thing, we need to add a dependency in the pom.xml. After adding pom.xml, we have to, okay, we have to create a logger properties in the resources folder. Okay guys, remember you have to create logger file in the resources folder only. Okay, and after adding logger properties in the resources folder, okay, so we can create a one static variable for logger, okay, as this student dot, I mean static logger, okay, logger get logger app dot class from, okay, jboss logging logger, okay, from jboss logging logger. Okay, so this is how you need to work with it. Okay, so please take care of everything. Okay, I will send you this project and everything. Okay, so after coming from the break we can discuss more things. Okay, and no, after coming from the break I will assign the pro, I mean I will assign the three different codes. You have to complete the three different codes because today is Thursday. Okay, so any doubts in these things, anybody, in using logger, in using lombok, or creating global exceptions, or creating hibernate utility file? So we have to use these things in our real, I mean in our sprint one project. Don't worry, I'll be there. Okay, I'll help you in creating. Okay, but you have to understand the structure, that's it. Okay, clear, boys and girls?
Yes, sir.
So okay, let's take a break for 15 minutes. After coming from the break, okay, so we can work on the, okay, task, Thursday lab tasks. This, okay, we can use this one only, use this one. Okay, so we can copy the dependency. Okay, we can copy this dependency and paste it in our pom.xml, paste it here. Okay, it will download the file. Okay, so when it is downloaded, you can see, okay, we can see log4j 1.2.17. Okay, now we have log4j 1.2.17. Okay, log4j. Okay, so you can remove this import statement. Okay, so we write one particular logger, no, we write one logger. Okay, actually we need to import this logger from log4j. Okay, we need to import this now. Okay, okay, now you can see, actually I mean I tried once. Okay, I deleted logbook. Okay, so now you can see we are not having any logbooks here. Okay, we are not having any logbooks here, you can see here. So I am running this code. Okay, so out we got output. Okay, we got output, and now you can see one file. uh, it has to download. Okay, just refresh the page. Yes, okay, so it automatically, okay, it automatically create one logbook of student ms, student management system. Now you can open this logbook. Okay, so here is the content. Okay, so now you can see, okay, we are having 11 lines of code, right? We are having 11 lines of logbook. Now I want to run it again. Okay, but this time I want to insert one student. Okay. Mm, see, okay, I want to insert one student into the database. I want to insert student. Okay, so which is the name of two id2 and Bhaskara, and he completed his BSc. Okay, so I'm adding new student to the database. Okay, now you can run. Actually, we are having 11 lines in the, okay, remember this, we have 11 lines in the logbook, and I can run this code. Okay, something is happened. Okay, the connection is open, and we got printed. Now you can see some changes appeared in the database also. Okay, we have, okay, Bhaskara. Now you can go back to log file. Now you can go back to the log file. See, some more files is added. Okay, some more lines of queries is added. Okay, the change you have done. Okay, the change, if you change something in the code, okay, if you change something and you can run it, okay, the code will be, I mean, the logbook will be updated automatically. The logbook will be updated automatically. See, the logbook is updated. Actually, so before this compile, we have 11 lines of code. Now we have 21 lines of code. 10 more lines is added. Okay, so if you want to see this logbook, you can see the logbook from, okay, our folder also. Here we have a logbook. You can see the logbook from this. See, we have a logbook. It has all the actions that we have done. See, we are inserting one student. Okay, I mean, sorry, we are retrieving one student, and here in the Hibernate, where is this? Yeah, I mean, after connecting the JDBC connections, okay, so connection will be auto committed mode because we inserted some data into that. Okay, so this is how you need to work with log4j guys. Actually, I imported some wrong log, I mean some long logger, so that's why we are not getting logbook. Okay, so you have to, okay, work with this file log4j. Okay, remember we are working with log4j logger. Okay, so when you are using log4j, same thing you have to do. Okay, you have to, okay, write same properties. You have to write same logger properties. After writing the same logger properties, okay, you can go to your app. Okay, that means your main method. Okay, so here in the main method, you can you can create a one logger with as a static variable. You can create a logger as a static variable. Now, okay, you can happily use the logger. Okay, so don't worry, I will send you this particular code. Okay, I will upload this in the GitHub. Okay, so you can implement same thing. Okay, you can implement a global exception. Okay, you can implement logger. You can implement lombok also. Okay, so today I'm giving you two tasks. Okay, I mean actually three. The first program is to implement inheritance. Okay, so here you can create a Hibernate cfg file, no issue, and implement one to many relation with um, student and laptop. Okay, so I need to you need to implement one to many relation with student and the laptop. Okay, one student can have many laptops. Okay, this is your second task. And the third one, okay, create a simple project, okay, where you can use logger, okay, lombok, okay, and what else, global exception, okay, where you can implement these things. Okay, you can implement these three things in your project. Okay, so can you do these three programs, guys?
Sir, in the inheritance or one-to-many program projects,
Hmm.
we don't need to implement loggers and long book.
No. Those are the basic programs.
Okay, these two are we simply implemented.
Yeah, no, you have to implement this one only. Okay, you can implement logger,
Okay,
you can
okay, sir.
implement lombok here in this program. Okay, the above two programs are the basic programs.
Sir, in third
Okay, sir.
project we cannot any SOP.
We cannot, you cannot add any SOP.
SOP
So,
function being and performed with the help of log info, na?
Yeah, we can use log.info.
Okay, sir. Like same double quotes and semicolon.
Same thing. Here I'm
Okay.
using the same thing.
Okay,
Okay.
sir. It is like
sir,
a
if we
SOP.
want to ask user to enter ID and then
Yeah, we can do this. See, okay. So let me create that. So here we have a student now. So log.info. Okay. Enter user student ID. We can do this. Int BSC, sorry, int ID equal to BS dot next int. We can do the same thing.
Sir, we don't need a scanner class.
We need a scanner now. Without scanner, we cannot do anything. There is no alternative for scanner. Okay.
Okay, sir.
From here, student group. Then as like a output statement, it is going to work. Okay. Now we can add the values. S1 dot set ID as ID. S1 dot set name as name. S1 dot set group as S group. Okay. Now we can add the student. Okay. Just run this code. Okay, it is asking you to enter student ID. Enter student ID as 4. Okay, enter student name, something like Ketan. Student group, BCA. Okay, it's done. It's added. Now you can see in the database. Okay, we have Ketan, and you can check the logbook also. Let's reopen the logbook. There you are. Okay, this is the logbook we have. Okay, you can see the logbook. Changes in the logbook. Okay, some changes are there. So, like if you print something, it will make more sense to us because we can print some output. Okay, log dot info. Okay, that's fine. I think it will create an error for us. Okay, no. 5. Um, Priyanshu. Okay, again BCA, and we got the output. Okay, now you can check with the logger. Okay, this is our logbook. Now you can see these things are important. Okay, so see in the logbook also Priyanshu is updated. In the database also Priyanshu got updated. Okay, same thing. It's same like a, I mean, it's same like a system.out. Okay, Ketan.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, which dependency you tell us to delete?
No, don't delete the this one. Okay, so you can add another dependency.
Sir,
You
add
can add
another one.
log4j.
ठीक. Okay, sir.
You can add log4j dependency, which is 1.2.17th version. That's it.
Okay, sir. Okay, got
It
it.
will automatically create a logbook. Okay, and I will upload this thing in the GitHub. Okay. Example student project. Guys, any doubts? Any doubts in the exceptions? Global exceptions is clear now for everyone. Guys, are you clear with global exception? How we are creating an exception? Everything. Yes, Divya.
Yes, sir.
And Lombok is very easy. Okay, so you can find the project. Okay, in my repository. Okay, so and sorry, I forgot to send the this one also. We completed 3 months, right? 3 months when we started our classes. Do you remember? Okay, so it is 7. Okay, 7th month. We completed 2 months. 2 months, only 2 months.
Yes, sir. Only 2 months. This is one.
Yes, sir.
In 2 months, we covered a lot of syllabus, man. All credits to you only. You very good. We have very good flow. I think it. I mean, I thought so. We'll complete the sprint one project in 3 months, but if we are going to complete the project in 2 months only, that's nice. Great, great flow.
Thank you, you too, sir. You are the best teacher.
I'm doing my duty, man. That's it. You are doing wonderful job. Congratulations. Very good. And keep rocking like this. Okay, we can complete the sprint one project, and we can rock the cap journey. Okay, let's rock the cap journey. Let's start sprint one project. Let's bang it together. Okay. So when we are going to start project, tomorrow or Monday? Actually, from last 3 weeks, no, we are not having any breaks, na.